You know, when a marriage breaks down, you think you know the script, right? There are fights, lawyers, maybe a messy divorce. But the story we're diving into today, it absolutely tears that script to pieces. This is a wild tale of strategy, deception, and a proposal so bizarre it all comes down to what we're calling the Jasmine Jones Agreement. So, at the center of all this, you've got what looks like a classic setup: a wife, her husband, and his mistress. But believe me, the way this all plays out is anything but classic. And this is where the whole thing gets turned on its head. Just imagine this. What happens when the wife calls the mistress not to scream and yell, but to make a deal? To collaborate? That unbelievable idea is exactly where this story kicks off. So, yeah, this entire, frankly unbelievable arrangement starts with a single phone call. A call so bold, so audacious, it feels like it's straight out of a movie. It completely rewrites the rules of this whole affair. And here it is, the bombshell. The wife, Jasmine Jones, calls up her husband's mistress, Serena, and makes an absolutely stunning request. She asks, "Can you keep him distracted?" And why? So she can go on a cruise with her boyfriend. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. The shock is real, right? I mean, how on earth does a relationship get to this point? But this wasn't some random, desperate move. This was the result of a long, complicated game being played by three very different people. So, to really understand the strategy here, you've got to meet the players involved in this high-stakes game of love, lies, and, well, leverage. All right, so on the board, we have our three key people. First up is Frederick Jones, the husband. We're calling him the player. He's the guy who thinks he's running the whole show, juggling both his wife and his mistress. Then there's his mistress, Serena Valero. She's the patsy. You know, she's enjoying the gifts, the attention, probably hoping that one day she'll get the grand prize, Frederick all to herself. And finally, Jasmine Jones, the wife. We're calling her the protege. And you're about to see why. Her true goal is way more strategic than either of them could ever imagine. So you have to wonder, how did Jasmine become this master strategist? Well, her plan didn't just appear out of nowhere. Turns out, she learned from the best teacher she had. And that brings us to what we're calling the blueprint, a masterclass in deception. And the irony here is it's staggering. Frederick, with all his own cheating, accidentally gave his wife the perfect blueprint for how to do it better. Every lie he told, every secret meeting he had, it was all a lesson. Jasmine didn't just watch what he did, she studied his methods and then perfected them. He thought he was the teacher, but she was about to become the master. And her method was actually a pretty simple three-step process. First, step one, the lesson. She just watched. She observed all of Frederick's lies, all his sneaking around. Step two, the perfection. She took his playbook and made it better. She found all the sloppy mistakes he was making and plugged those holes so she wouldn't get caught. And finally, step three, the execution. She built herself a secret life so flawless that the so-called player in this story, her husband, had absolutely no idea it was even happening. Okay, so with her own secret life humming along perfectly, Jasmine was finally ready to make her big move. And that takes us right back to that wild phone call and the shocking proposal at the very heart of this story, the agreement. Now, this is the first logical question anybody would ask. In fact, it's exactly what Serena asked on the phone. I mean, if you're both cheating and the marriage is clearly a sham, why not just end it? Why go through all this insane trouble? And here's the answer. And let me tell you, it is colder than you might expect. This isn't about love. It's not even about getting revenge. It is purely 100% about money. Jasmine's motivation is financial. As she put it herself, "I'm not messing up all my bills being paid. A divorce messes with the cash flow, and she has absolutely no intention of letting that happen." So she lays out an ultimatum for Serena. It's a threat disguised as a deal. Option one, they work together. Serena keeps Frederick busy and distracted, and in return, Jasmine's secret and, more importantly, her lifestyle stays safe. Then there's option two, cause problems. If Serena says no or tries to blow this whole thing up, Jasmine makes it crystal clear that she will expose the entire affair and make Serena's life a living hell. And just like that, the ball is in Serena's court. She is now facing this impossible dilemma, and it's been forced on her by the wife of the man she's been seeing. So what does she do?
I mean, let's really break down her options here, the pros and cons. On the one hand, she could tell Frederick, right? Maybe that's the right thing to do. Maybe it earns her some loyalty points with him. But the risks? Oh, they are massive. She would be starting an all-out war with Jasmine, who has already proven she's a brilliant, ruthless strategist. She would almost certainly lose all the expensive gifts and the perks that come with the affair. And honestly, the worst part, after all that drama, he might not even believe her.
So this is the core of it, right? She's completely trapped, stuck between this fragile sense of loyalty to her man and a very, very real fear of his wife. There is no easy out here, no simple answer. So Serena has to make a choice. Does she side with the player, a guy who might just drop her the second things get too complicated, or does she get into this dangerous agreement with the protege, a woman who is clearly holding all the cards? It's a choice between two terrible options, really, which leaves us with the final question, and I want you to really think about it. In her shoes, what would you do?